everybody. We are live. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome. I already see plant-powered peddler Janet's here. Hello. And Gina. Hi, Gina. And Nan is here. Hi, Nan. It's good to see everybody. I am so happy that you joined us. I'm really glad you're here today. We have so much to talk about. So, okay, just checking the chat. And so, if you've ever been wondering, like, how to travel while sticking to your whole food plant-based lifestyle without stress, without compromising your health, then you're in the right place, right? Because that's what we do here. Today we're going to talk about everything that you need to know, how to research your destination, what to pack, how to navigate airports, what to do when you don't have access to a car, how to shop and cook in a hotel kitchenette if you have one, and just like so much more. So I'll also share tips on how to handle tricky social situations like catered events or dining out while staying true to your food requirements. And as always, I encourage you to ask questions throughout, share anything that you'd love. I love the interaction. That's why we do these lives. And so thank you so much again for being here. And I guess we can get ready, right? All right. So Todd and I will be traveling by plane to Georgia, and then we're going to go to Texas, and we're going to be gone for a total of 9 days. We're going to be attending a family event, and then that will be in Georgia, and then we're going to visit our daughter and grandbaby before returning home in Texas. They are there for a while, and we want to see what's going on over there. So we're going to be doing that. What is different for us, and the reason why I really wanted to share this topic and how we'll be handling it, is because we're usually on our own, right? We're by foot, or we take trains, planes, sometimes rental cars, sometimes we drive our own car, and we go on a vacation or a destination where we plan where and when we're going to go visit a place or places. But this time, we're going to be part of a big family event where it will be a full few days with a large group of people, and the destination, the hotel location, and the event are all picked out for us. So we'll be joining people for catered meals and gatherings at several restaurants, which that's like very different for us. So we're going to be taking a shuttle to and from some of the events, and we're not going to have a rental car, which is usually what we would have, like if we were going to an event out in our area, right? So having a car for some of these things, that's allowed us to pack it full of food. And then let's say I want to go to the car and eat something when we're at an event. Well, then I can go back into the car, eat something, and then I can go back into the event. It's simple. And so this time, we're not doing it this way. And so we're going to, share with you how we're going to handle it. How are we going to make this work and still have a great time without compromising what is important to me and my health? So this, I believe, is done for me through planning. I always talk about planning. It's just so key. Batch cooking is planning. Planning can be all kinds of things, but where to begin and how I will be doing this. So I just would like to ask you, how many of you have traveled to a family or some kind of event, whether it was a wedding or a reunion or something, just a big event, and did it without wavering from your whole food plant-based lifestyle? I would love to hear it in the chat. And then also, can you tell me, was it successful? Did you feel like you needed to explain yourself, right? And if you haven't done this, if the whole food plant-based lifestyle is so new to you, you've never been there, then think about it and please share, what do you think you would do, right? So while you guys are doing that, I want to check the chat. And let's see. So I just want to say, hey, hi, Mona. So glad you're here. And Else, hey, nice to have you here. We're in Georgia, somewhere in Atlanta. Are you there? I don't know. Are you there, Mona, in Georgia still? Thought she moved. You got to tell me. Okay.
we have some time.
Yeah. Let's see. Yes, Else. Yes, I am Todd's wife, and I appreciate you being here. And so, anyways, I'm wondering, has anybody want to share who has traveled to an event and maintained the lifestyle? And I see one comment so far, and that comes from Plant Powered Peddler Janet, 100%. And then we have Mona that says, oh, I used to be in Savannah. Okay, yes, I knew that, but you're not there because you moved. And I thought you threw me for a minute. Darn it. I don't even know where Savannah is in reference to Atlanta, but I'm always up for meeting with people if it works out. Anyways, yeah. So thanks for asking. So going back to this, so what's important to me is researching the destination, right? So the first step that I needed to focus on once we decided that we were going to join in the event was to understand and to research where we were going. What did the hotel offer? What types of accommodations would be available? And then I wanted to compare that to maybe getting an Airbnb or that other ones that they have there, other types of rentals that might have more of a kitchen or other small appliances that might be helpful to me. And then I like to figure out, okay, well, what is the difference in cost? And how far away would we be from not being in the same hotel as the family and friends that we were visiting? And how would that benefit or hinder the trip, right? So we settled on staying at the hotel that had the group rate. So that was better for us. And being in the same building as our family, who this part of the family, we don't get to see them very often. And so it would be nice. And they are also going to be traveling from other states to meet us there, not to meet us, but we'll see each other. And, we don't get to see them often, like I mentioned. And so we were fortunate, I don't know how this happened, that this hotel does offer a kitchenette. So I will be able to make and prepare food more easily than if we only had a mini fridge or a microwave or neither. So there have been times where we've been in a hotel and I've had to wash my produce in the bathroom sink because that was the only sink available and there were no other accommodations. And so I'm mentioning that because so you just want to work with what you have, right? And I just want to take a second here and just check the chat before I move on. Let's see. Elle says, I'm already searching Amazon for beet chips. Oh, okay, in Canada. Do you see my beet chips already here? Right here. That's great. And John Jew, hey, hello, John Jew. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. And okay, so anyways, I also wanted to mention that this particular accommodation that we're going to be in offers, a breakfast, and it's going to be in the lobby area. I am pretty confident that it's not a whole food plant-based breakfast, but because we have a kitchenette, I will be able to take, go into that area. I can still be with the family while they eat breakfast, and I can just bring what I want from my room. And then I could just focus on the company and feel fine. I'll be full and I'll be fine. So with that said, The next thing that we wanted to understand was about knowing what grocery stores, because this is big, regardless if I'm traveling with groups or if we're just on our own. That's like something that we do is where's the nearest grocery store and restaurants that we can get to when we first get into town and how we will be able to access them, right? So, weather permitting, we could walk, but we can also see if the hotel offers, sometimes they offer a shuttle that might be free. And if not, well, how much would an Uber or a Lyft cost to get us to and from the store? So there are several apps like Happy Cow or Yelp that can help you find plant-based friendly spots in your area, which we have used on occasion, but usually we try and just have things planned out like way in advance of needing to turn to an app. So when we've stayed in a hotel or an Airbnb, I've been known to call ahead and check their website and find out what restaurants or what grocery stores are in the area. So I just want to say that. I want to check the chat again. And let's see. Oh, Mona is asking what the event was. Yeah, I just said it's a family event. We're just gathering together for a big family event, and I'm really looking forward to it. There are lots of people that we haven't seen, and some of those people now have their own children, and so we're going to get to meet them as well, and I'm really excited about it. And let's see, anything else? Core Scorpies in the house. Hello. And then everybody's talking about beets still, which is a great thing. And I'm so glad because beets are so great on so many levels, but I won't get off on a tangent about beets. So anyways, staying focused. I also consider the type of kitchen that I'm going to have access to or that you'll have access to. It's a really good thing to consider that because if you have a full kitchen, like an Airbnb or at an Airbnb or something, or maybe you have a kitchenette, right, which is a smaller version of a full kitchen, like what we're planning on having. I'm going to be so curious to see how that really is and what's involved, what they offer. But, with those accommodations, you'll be able to make some meals for yourself, which is awesome. And like I said, for us, this time, we're going to have the kitchenette. So, but if not, it's no worries. Like we're going to cover plenty of options for eating out too. And with that being said, eating out, when I say eating out, it doesn't always mean just restaurants. It could be eating out at a grocery store, which we have done many times before in both the USA and internationally, and it works beautifully. So Google Maps helps for grocery stores, locations for us, or healthy food delivery options like Instacart, DoorDash, Amazon Fresh. You can focus on these easy to prep items like getting canned beans, pre-washed greens. You can get frozen veggies if you have a freezer or access to ice or you're going to eat it right away. Fresh fruits and quick cooking grains like rice and things like that. And this way, you'll always have something to make a quick meal. Now, we personally have never used the delivery option, but it's good to know, right? Because especially when you're going to be in an area where maybe the weather is not what you're used to, like us. It could be snowing or raining and a whole much, is so much colder than we're accustomed to compared to Arizona weather. But if you're flying or taking a train, it's a good idea to know that, you can get to your destination easily. You can do a lot with the public transit, and we've done that too. And I've also planned a ride when possible from the airport. We do Lyft or Uber. Those are great. And then what I've done is I figured out like that we would be passing a grocery store or something near, like on our way to check into the hotel or whatever accommodations. And so I asked to be dropped off there. And then I go in, I get whatever food I may need, and then I can just call another Lyft. And then I'll complete, the getting to the hotel or wherever it is I'm staying. So this time, not the same story, as we will be taking a train from the airport, and we're going to need to transfer at least once, maybe more, I don't know, to another place. And then that's going to be near enough to where then we can call the hotel for a hotel shuttle service. So, Todd said, "Oh, we should just get an Uber." I'm like, "No, let's not. We've done this before, doing all of this kind of, trains and transferring. It's fun, so it's adventuresome." Anyways, I'm gonna check the chat and just see what's going on here. Elle says, "I love beets. Costco recently had 10-pound bags. Whoa, not at ours. Fresh. I'm working my way through 2 bags. They likely won't have them again. Oh, till next year. Wow. Well, you could dehydrate them or freeze them, shred them, cook them, all that kind of stuff. And oh, that's okay. I have ADHD and I reacted to the beet chips as if I had seen a squirrel. Well, Todd always says, "Look, you've seen a butterfly," because sometimes I do the same thing, and it's all good. I'm glad to have you chat about it. Mona says, Hotlanta is a food. Oh, I can't read that.
Mecca.
I'm sure. Can you move the? Okay, I'm sure you will find some. Okay. And let's see. Okay. All right. So yeah. So what does that mean exactly? Hot Mecca. I mean, I mixed it up now. It's Hotlanta. Hotlanta is a food mecca.
So there's a lot of good food in Atlanta.
Oh, is that right, Mona? Because that's
Are you
great.
questioning my ability to interpret?
I just want to make sure. And so, yes. Okay. So, how many of you have traveled to a family event, whether it was a wedding, a reunion, or something else, and did it without wavering from your whole food, plant-based lifestyle? Was it successful? Did you feel like you needed to explain yourself? That was the question earlier. And I just would really love to hear if anybody else would like to add to that. So, what do you do for food when you travel by plane? That's another question. Do you pack your food, buy what you can at the airport, or do you just wait until you arrive at your destination? Oh my gosh, not me. But that's something that Todd tends to do, and that's all interesting. Yeah, it's fun to hear. So I would love to hear from everybody about how it's worked for you. And then we have when you're young, that's the language for the party. Oh, well, you were not right on it, honey.
I speak young.
Okay, thanks, Mona. Boy, she's teaching us a lot.
I know the youthful slang.
Oh, this is great. Okay, so waiting for you guys to chime in if you want to, if you have anything to add. And in the meantime, I'm going to talk about preparing for air travel. Okay, so let's talk about air travel. When you're flying, having food options you can trust is essential. I mean, for me, that means bringing more than enough food if possible. And why do I say if possible? Well, on the return flight, there have been instances where I don't have access to get enough food for the flight, or it isn't enough to keep me satisfied. And you don't want to get stuck eating something that's not aligned with your goals. At least I don't. And so in that case, I'll look for options at the airport. And I'm happy to say that you can find them. So I've seen veggie sushi made with rice and nori, the seaweed, and then it's rolled. It's got carrots, avocado, and cucumber, and that works. Now it might not be perfect. I know some of those put something in the rice. Is that sugar? But I mean, so you have to compare, right? Your pros and cons. You can also find salads. They have salads in these to-go containers that I've seen, and or you can get chopped fruit like melons or grapes and so on. So the thing with those options, are that, like, I don't know how. So these are the questions that I ask myself. I don't know how long it's been sitting there. But even more importantly, the price is usually way, way overpriced for what it's worth. And so for me, it's a last resort. But I like knowing that it is an option if I feel like, I need something and I don't have access. So okay, let's look in the chat here. John Ju says, my recent trip to Thailand, yes, let's hear about it. As I visited my ill brother, bringing him a new lifestyle of better eating, got a vegan request on Japan Airlines on my way home. It was mostly whole food, very delicious. Oh, yeah. So if you're going a far distance, they do offer meals, right? And I actually have done that before. Wasn't that when we went to Italy?
Yes.
And I was able to get a vegan meal. And so, yeah, that's great. Now, we aren't going that far. So they're going to say, if you want something, you better buy it. And it's not going to be anything that I would want to buy. But I am happy to hear that, John. It's a great thing to share if you're not familiar with that. So anyways, what should you pack, right? So what I think is easy to pack, TSA friendly meals and snacks, right? And I say that with the most love for TSA. They always pull me over and they always say, who's got the banana in the bag? And I'm like, oh, it's me. Oh, goodness. So I love grain-based salads like quinoa or millet with beans and veggies, and I just throw them in a leak-proof container. That was a tongue twister. But you can also cut fruits, apples, bananas, or veggies. You can put it in a clear resealable bag, put it in a small container, and then, for snacks, you can try things like homemade energy muffins or cookies or whatever. So I want to show you a few things here. So like for me, orange. So I will decide, okay, of all this fruit here, I've got a few apples, a few oranges, one pear, a lemon, some bananas, and a couple grapefruits. Well, I'll decide ahead of time, I'm going to have the orange. So I'll go ahead and peel the orange and put the orange in some kind of a Ziploc baggie. We have these, we hardly ever use them. I really don't buy them anymore, but anyways, I'll put it in there because I don't want to be peeling an orange sitting in, if you're not in first class, if you don't have room, I'm sitting here. I don't want to get it in my nails and get all sticky and have that scent lingering all around because I don't want to draw any more attention. So I will peel it at home. I'll put it in a Ziploc bag and I may even put a fork in there and then I'll know that this is ready to go. So I could just open the bag and take out and then seal it back up. I'll rewash the bags at the hotel and reuse them for the travel home. Now, if it's something else, like an apple or something, that's a little bit different story. And then I did mention, so these are some of the containers. So this one we have, and it's one that is like a plastic container that we've used, for years, over and over. I like the shape of it because it fits well in my bag. These are kind of the throwaway ones. And this one we got at Farmer's Market because it says sweet basil. We must have bought fresh basil. And then this one, I actually believe came from when I stayed at True North and I just kept it. So I like these because they will keep things from being smashed, right? And if it doesn't make it, I'm not worried about it. I can throw it out and no big deal. Whereas if I bring like a more expensive Tupperware or something like that, or any of the Pyrex or Rubbermaids, I don't want to have to throw those out. So anyways, so that's something that I do. And then when we talk about homemade cookies or whatever, like I just went in my freezer. I don't know about you, but I batch cook a lot. And I don't always do it deliberately. I make stuff and then I have extra and I find, we're not eating it enough or whatever, and I'll freeze it. So I went in there just to show you. I have these were frozen November of 2024, and they're pecan pumpkin squares. So ready to go. So this is something that I could bring, and they're already cut into 4. I can make this last 4 days, right? If I wanted just to allow myself one little piece or whatever, maybe we would eat it all in 1 second. But the point is that you can do that. And then another thing that I really like are the well-being bars. I really like well-being. If you're not familiar with well-being or some of the products that we talk about, I think after the show you could
I'll put links in the show
you'll
notes.
put links for different things. So if there's something that we're talking about throughout and you're curious about it, hopefully we'll have it available afterwards. But these are the nuggets, and this is the bar, right? And so sometimes if I want to kind of keep myself from like not eating all of these, I'll measure them. So like 2 of these nuggets, 2.5 will probably equal 1 bar. So I can kind of figure out, how many that I would want to eat instead of just randomly eating the whole thing. And so I also like nuts. I'm always concerned about my iron. These are Eden brand spicy pumpkin seeds. You can get the raw nuts or seeds. I really like those too. And I sometimes put a bunch of different ones that I have in the refrigerator and kind of make my own trail mix. And then even, dried fruits, right? This is, yes, I eat this, pitted prunes if I'm going to have dried fruit. We also have some dried Turkish apricots, kind of tripping over myself today. And, I am going to talk about it. We've got these beets. And the beets these are just naked beet chips. So there's lots of things that you can use and do when you're traveling. Now for Todd, he likes these. And so we got him these hippies. God, I'm tripping over myself. And, so this isn't something that I personally want to eat because of the ingredients, but for him, where he is on his journey, this is a great improvement. It allows him to have a snack. And so, it all depends on where you are. Do you want to say anything about your choice there?
I like them.
Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So I'm going to move on. So when bringing fruit like apples that are not cut up, which I said I was going to talk about, these apples, we've got pears and so forth. Okay, I learned to keep them in a Ziploc bag so that when they decide to check your bag, like I said, they call me, when they see the banana, they are not handling your food. They, wear gloves, and I don't know what they're touching. And for me, one time I traveled and I just had put an apple in my bag, and they pulled me over, and I was just cringing because he was handling the apple with the gloves. And I was like, because I had no way to peel it or wash it or anything. So what I have learned to do is put the fruit that's not cut up in some type of container or Ziploc bag, and they will touch that all day long, and you don't have to worry about it. And that has really worked for me. I feel like I learned that. It was heartbreaking. So, but this time I'm going to be bringing, in addition to the fresh fruit, I'm going to be bringing wraps. I made wraps from Alyssa at Raw Food Romance. She's got great recipes, and I made her everything but the bagel wraps in bulk. And so I'm going to show you. I have some of them here still on the tray. This is what they look like. They're dehydrated. They're made out of basically vegetables and fruit and onions and all kinds of things. And then, we put seeds on them. So I have 3 sitting here, but I also have a bunch that I made. Whoops, let me see if I can do this to show you this. These are the same thing. Let me show you this side so you can see. Is that glary or is that okay? Anyways, and so what I did was I took it off of the tray. Whoops, I took it off of the tray. And there's a sticky side on the bottom part when you first pull it off. And she says, you want to keep it as sticky as you can until you're ready. And these look like I cooked them a little much. They're a little firmer than these are a little softer and give a little more. But at any rate, I peel them off and then I put them inside out, right? So the sticky side is together. And then I kind of put one on top of the other and I put it in a baggie. They do sell baggies, Ziploc baggies that will fit the whole thing. But like I said, I don't really buy them. This is what I had in the house. And so then I put another one on top. And here you go. I've got these. So if I want to make a wrap and have that and bring it on the plane, great. But if I also want to have these for like backup, emergency throughout my trip or for my flight home, I can, have this ready to go. I don't want to wrap everything ahead of time because it will get kind of, it won't hold. It just won't hold very well. So I will also be packing salads. And let me show you that. So, okay, so before we trade or go on, the wraps, I have some stuff that I've made from her. Like in here, I have, I'll just show you. She does some carrots. So, these are carrots that have been in the freezer and then thawed, and then you mix it with some different ingredients, including fresh ginger or garlic. It's garlic. And anyways, so I can fill the wrap with things like this and all of this lettuce behind me. If you can see this, this is all going to go in the wrap with avocado, and I've got a cucumber here. And if I'm making it to go on the plane, this is her, I did her recipe for onion cheese spread. But I also have my own cashew cream. And so I spread it on there, roll it up, and maybe if we have time, I can show you and do one if you're interested. But when it comes to just salad, so this is a local farmers market people here, Steadfast Farm near us in Arizona, and this is their seasonal salad mix. So whatever salad you have, if I have leftover of kale or whatever, I'm going to throw it in a bag. And this is kind of a smaller bag than what I'm used to. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything else that I want in here, right? Cut up bell pepper, cut up cucumber, maybe a half of an avocado. So I'll cut it in half and I'll put the half in there because if I cut it all up ahead of time and then it's two ahead, it might get all kind of, wonky. And this way I'll be able to scoop it out. And then I take this lemon or a lime. I'm going to use lemon because I have this one, or even orange. And I cut it into quarters. And I toss at least 1 or 2 quarters in the bag. And so I can get on, there's no lemon juice, right? And I even throw in a plastic fork in the bag. So I'm basically building a salad in this bag, right? I don't have all of the things. And even here I've got these are broccoli sprouts. I'm going to throw those in there because I'm not going to waste them. And then I've got some lentil sprouts. I love to make the lentil sprouts. And so you've got everything in here, even these tomatoes, which you could put in the wrap too. And so here I am sitting on the flight. I can take this out, open it up, take the lemon, right? Squeeze it. That's my dressing. Take my fork and eat. Great. So that's how I do it. And it really, really works great. Another thing that I want to take, and I don't always, but I'm going to take my favorite Benson's Table Tasty. It's a no salt seasoning. You can use any salt seasoning, but I like this on my potatoes. So I'm going to bring potatoes, and you could bring sweet potatoes. I'm just using what we had left over in the house, and that's these Yukon Golds, and these are not cooked right now. I meant to have them cooked before, but I didn't have time. I am going to cook these, and I will bring them cooked, and then I will have them in a baggie, and I will just pull one out if I need to just break it and eat it or chomp it, or if I'm in a place where I can cut it up and I can, put a little flavor on it. Hey, that works for me. So those are all things that you can have ready to go. and you can eat very easily on the plane. Now, you can also bring the cooked potatoes or whatever you want into the restaurant. And when I'm in the restaurant before, I've been able to do the seasoning, and I really enjoyed it. So now, I also, well, we haven't decided if we're going to check a bag, which we don't always do. I don't really like to, because less is more for me, less is better, whatever. But if I am going to be checking a bag, or you are going to be checking a bag, then I can think about bringing different things like this, like, plant strong, or any kind of boxed beans. This is an organic chili. You can't take this on because it's considered a liquid and it's more than 3 ounces, but you can check the bag. And so if we have a bag that we decide we're going to check, I'm going to throw this in there as backup. And so then at the hotel, I'll have my potato. I can pour my chili on top and add a little flavor, and throw salad on it, and then grab a piece of fruit. Hey, I'm good to go. So I like these because I can just open it and pour it, on a potato or even rice. I have also brought cooked rice and on the plane, and I've bought it even on vacation. Trader Joe's in our area sells frozen rice, and so if you have a microwave, I would just throw it in the microwave and throw it in a Ziploc bag, and there you go. I have that on the plane too, or even one of these containers works. Let me check the chat. How are we doing in the chat?
I would like to point out that John Jew also likes hippies.
Ah, he does. Good for you. Okay. There. You know what? I'm not saying that I don't like them. They're just,
I understand.
they're not for me. They're not my food, but yeah, they're good. I've had them before. So anyways, okay. Mona says, let's see. I saw the Excalibur has a 4 tray. I'm pondering. Okay, so I only knew about the 5 tray. So that's interesting. Yeah, if you want to get a smaller one, honestly, you bought this as a gift for me many years ago.
I did.
And it's the, what do we have? The largest one. How many?
9.
Is it?
Looks like 9 from here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. And so, but I don't really think that there has been too many times when I've used all 9 at the same time. Not too many, but it is nice to have. So good for you. You'll have to let us know. Let's see, what else are we doing? Elle says, Todd, could you put a link to Jennifer's video where she probably introduced herself and share why you guys are doing this? Yes. Oh, yes, you can.
I'll have to do it after.
You'll have to do it
after. You can't do it
in
in the chat because of rules.
Okay, so after we're off, if you come back on here and go into the show notes where there's a heading and then it says more, you can click that. And sometimes it says more again, and you can scroll. There'll be a bunch of information. That's where he'll put it. And thank you for asking. I do have many available, and you can also find some on my channel. How would you search for that kind of stuff you can share? I believe I've seen her on the summit. Have I been on the summit? I'm go ahead. I'm currently featured on Forks Over Knives Winter Edition, and I've been on a couple other things. So yes, you may have seen me before, and I'm so happy that you're here today. Anyways, we will get that for you. And then let's see, where else are we? Hello, Jim Dixon. Good to have you. Love having you here. Oh my gosh, that's great. Love seeing you, and hope you are well. So we're just knee deep into talking about traveling and food here. So I do want to say something about TSA. You've got to keep in mind that TSA allows liquids, they allow gels like dressings and different things like California balsamic or hummus. So here is what California balsamic is. And they're not the only company, but I really do enjoy them. They make sos-free, which is salt, oil, and sugar-free products here, different flavored balsamics. And you can bring these because the containers are, this is a 3-ounce little container. And then they also have these little 1.6-ounce containers. And I buy these big bottles, and then I have been able to get these samples. And we can put a link in the description if you're interested in checking them out and you're not familiar. And then you can fill up, and bring these on the plane. Okay. And so that is an extra thing if you want to have that on your salad or on your rice or whatever. That makes for a fun thing. Now, hummus or these spreads, right? This is a spread that I made. This is a cashew cream. You can bring these on there, but it's got to be under 3 ounces here, where we fly. And so I have some of these little tiny containers that I've either gotten, gosh, I don't even know. I think my daughter left a bunch of these here, but you can get these. You can buy them, or sometimes you can find them at stores or whatever. Anyways, one time I was, side note, one time I was at the grocery store, actually our Sprouts, and they had pieces of apple that they were giving samples at, and it was the end of the day. And I went and tried one because normally I can't have anything that they're offering, but I thought, oh, fruit, okay. And she said, well, it's the end of the day. Can I give you? Would you eat some? And I said, sure. And she dumped a bunch of these in my cart, in my bag. And anyways, when I got home, I just washed them out. And so I can use these. I can put a bunch of stuff in a bunch of these and put all of these in a Ziploc bag, and then I can get in there. So I like to put it, like a quart-size bag, right? And then you're staying within the rules. And so, well, I know that it's a sad day. I have had my hummus, my homemade hummus that I worked so hard for, thrown out because the container that I brought it in was an ounce or two over the 3-ounce mark. In fact, it probably was something glass and maybe a little smaller than this. And even though I only had a small amount in it, this particular TSA person said the 3-ounce mark, the container was bigger than 3 ounces and the amount of the product was smaller, but it wasn't marked. So they said that I was not allowed to, I said, could I take the contents and dump it into my salad? And they said, no, because I can't, I already saw it this way. But if I left the security area, got out of line, went and had them escort me around to the front and go through again after not letting them see me put it on my salad, then I could do that. And I said, well, I would miss my flight. Then he said, well, sorry. So he tossed it in the trash. Boo. Okay, so I just want to check the chat, okay, and see if anybody answered, like, what do you do? Did anyone answer? Oh, okay, well, I'll ask one more time. What do you do for food when traveling by plane? Do you pack your own food? Do you buy what you can? Or you just wait until you get home? And I want to say, Gina says, Mona, I only make 4 wraps at a time, so a 4 tray would be perfect for her. I got the 9 tray, but the 4 tray would work. Yes. And, Natalie Dixon, hello. Great to have you here. So wonderful to see everybody. Gina says, I pack my food for plane. Yes, and I think that that's great. And do you only do carry-on? Do you check your bag? Like, do you do anything different? I'm curious. Let me know. And so I also want to say, don't forget when you're traveling, you also want to make sure to stay hydrated. So bring an empty reusable water bottle and then fill it up after security. Don't go there with a full bottle because that won't work. And so I'll just say, I like to use this specific water bottle when I travel because it has a built-in filter, and I feel confident that no matter what's in the water that I'm going to have to fill it with, at least it'll be filtered before I drink it down. So it's a company called Clearly Filtered. I'll show you the little thing here. We'll put this in the show notes. And here's how it works. So you can, this is the filter. Let me see, in case you haven't seen this before. And this comes, it all comes apart, right? And so I just put this little straw in here, and then this is attached, and this is the little filter. I forget how many gallons of water can go through here. It's probably on their site. And then it's a lot. Yeah, it is a lot. And then I put it in here because, of course, if you fill it up and then you put it in here and then the water's going to overflow. So I've learned to put this in here first. I kind of hold it like that. And then I put it against the, the water thing, fill it up, and then close it up. And then I can drink my water while I'm on the plane. Even when I'm on the plane, if they ask if I would like a drink, sometimes I will say yes, water, and I'll pour that water in this water bottle. And so, you don't have to have a fancy water bottle. Like we got this from an event. They were passing out these waters. And so any kind of container, this is just empty, or I'm not for plastic, but hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But the point is, if you have an empty bottle, you can put it through security, and then you have a little control, and you don't have to just get those little tiny cups. And then I always worry that there's going to be a turbulent and it's going to spill all over me. So we don't want that. Let's check the chat here. Else, I truly don't travel, but I take food everywhere I go. I won't let myself go hungry. And that's fantastic and the way to go. And not everybody does that. So good for you. Gina says, it depends how many days I'm going for. I try to take carry-on only, but sometimes I need to take a checked bag, and then I can take more of my own food. Yes, I hear you. And that's exactly what we're kind of thinking. And, we don't need to bring a lot, except that we have like fancier clothes for, some of the events, and then winter clothes, right?
Well, yes, because we're going somewhere other than Arizona, so it's going to be colder.
We're going to be cold. So that will be what we figure out. Anyways, I also don't want to forget to share about utensil sets. We talked about, putting the plastic, fork or knife, not knife, fork or spoon in the bag. But we also have, let's see, I've got these. And what they are, we each have one. Oh, this one it's kind of already open. This is just a little set that we have that we bought actually when we were going to Europe many, many years ago already. And it is a set, fork, knife, and spoon on a little thing here. And so that's always nice to carry if you want to carry your own and you're not concerned about losing it. You don't want to use plastic. So we have these utensil sets, and we also have these collapsing bowls. I got to show you these collapsing bowls. Have you guys ever seen these? I'm sure many of you have, but if you haven't, here they are. I love these because look, they could just fit anywhere. Even in this bag that I bring on the plane, I could even just stick it right here in this little tiny side thing. And this is my purse, right? And we're going to talk about that too. And most of you, if you've seen me before, you've seen me show this bag. But here's a lid. And so you just literally pop it. There you go. You got a bowl. You're ready to go. You got your utensils. And so that's good. Now, we also have, and then okay, so if it's done, you can close it up, put the lid on, and then you don't have to worry about it spilling, right? If there's little remnants of whatever. But I also wanted to share that we got these as a gift. So there are all different kinds. This was like, not a gift, it was a giveaway, right? What was this?
Yeah, it was just a giveaway at an event.
And so, so this one's nice because it has the silverware in this little container, and it's actually, we haven't used this yet, but look, a spoon and a fork. in one. So that's nice. And it has the lid and it's kind of, let's just open it. Why not, right? And this is nice too. So same thing. Look, here you go. You got your bowl. So we took these, not this one, but the green and blue one. We took them on a trip to Italy, and it was great for when I was eating a lot of oats. I'm not really eating a lot of oats now because oats seem to maybe cause inflammation in my sinuses. I do have them still, but at any rate, I was eating them all the time. And we were on a train, and so there wasn't anything that I could have. And so I had some of these oats, not this one, like I make these, and I'll talk about this in a minute. These are rolled oats that I put together in my food saver. You don't have to seal it, but I do because then it's here. I date it, I measure how much, this is a cup, and then I can go ahead and I don't have a scissors, right? But I've taken a fork or a key and I've punctured it and poured it in the bowl on the train. And then I've asked the train, do you, people on the train that are working, do you have any plant milk? And they actually did have plant milk. But if they didn't, I would just eat it dry. And then I also make these little packets. These are hemp seeds, but I do walnuts. You could do ground flaxseed, even though I like to do it fresh, raisins, whatever. And then you can put it right in there. And that's also another idea or suggestion for you. Were you going to say something, Todd?
I was not.
Oh, okay. Anything going on in the chat?
Just Gina.
Just Gina's in the chat?
She said that's really nice with the silverware.
Oh, thank you. Yes. And so I really do like it because it's easy cleanup, and even the silverware can go in that little container. So if you forget, you can also, you can grab something, usually at any place in the airport where they sell food, and napkins as well. Like you can grab some napkins, or maybe they have a to-go container, like something like this, if you don't have one, right? And it comes in handy when you need to eat on the go. So I mentioned that I have the oats. I'm wondering if I should share how I make these container things here, but you're not sure? Okay, so anyways, I will talk about it briefly. But I do want to say that I probably will bring this as an emergency, or like a backup, which I think is really important, or maybe Todd would want it. And, these, I know what kind of oats these are, right? These are the organic, no glyphosate, gluten-free oats. So how I do this, and I won't do a whole thing, but I'll just briefly show you in case you're interested. You could certainly put it in a Ziploc bag or any container, but this is a very old one. This is a food saver, and I plug it in, which it's not plugged in right now. And then I've got this roll of plastic here, which is not also great, but I do my best. And then when you close it, there's a button here and you can push seal. And if you guys are really interested in me actually doing this right now, other than just talking, please let me know in the chat. But otherwise, so it seals, you open it up, you pull the length that you want, you cut the bag off, and then you can put your stuff in it. And when you seal it, vacuum seal, it pulls out all the air. Sometimes what I do is I seal the bottom and then I cut it and then I turn the bag and I make more seals. And so then I can kind of make this one that I showed you for the hemp seeds and little packets to just kind of save, but you don't have to do that. So yes. Oh, yes. Elle says, I have one of those food savers. Would that be great for small amounts? Yes, it's great for anything. In fact, where is that? This is what I'm talking about. So I had a big piece, and then I turned it and I made a seal across. Right here, you can see there's a seal. And so the top is open, and I made some seals. And then I measured however much I wanted of whatever it was, and I poured it in carefully. It's not always, super clean or easy. And then I sealed them, and then I made another one so that I could cut it. so that I could make small packets. And what I also had was, in the long one, I had this part here, and then above it, maybe I had walnuts and or raisins, and then maybe a smaller one with cinnamon. I hope that I'm making sense and I'm clear, but yes, you can definitely do that. And hello, Jill D. Oh, I have a food saver and I love it to freeze leftovers and single frozen servings. Yes, you've got to try this for traveling. If you decide that you're going to be traveling, I love it for that as well. See, like I just did this one, whereas I was talking about combining, or, putting it into different sections. Anyways, so that is what I was going to say about that. And then I also want to talk about what to buy for easy meals in the hotel kitchenette, right? So let's just take a minute to talk about meals when you have a hotel kitchenette. If you have one, I think you're golden. At least for me, I feel golden. And some simple items that you could pick up on your way that, if you're not sure, what do I get? Here I am on vacation and I don't know what to do. You could grab some rolled oats. You can grab some plant milk. You can grab fresh fruit. That would make a quick breakfast for you. You could just even do salads. I love pre-washed greens. You can get pre-washed greens and have that for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whenever. You can grab a can of beans, or like I talked about, these in this kind of container, just the beans. And if you have access to a freezer, or you're going to eat it right away, frozen veggies, frozen rice, canned lentils or chickpeas, and then you can even throw it together and there you have a stir fry. I also really like edamame to take on the plane. Edamame comes frozen. It works as an ice pack, and it's not. By the time I get up in the air, it's thawed enough. I have my lemon in the salad, right? I can squeeze it. And but going back to the hotel, I've made tofu stir fry and miso soups in my kitchenettes before, and it's been really, really great. And so I just want to check the chat. Let's see. Elle says, lots of sense, Jennifer. I've made small bags too. In the old days when I ate, eat?
I think that's when I ate meat. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I get it now. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Mona says, when I did 13 weeks of travel assignment as a nurse, I always made sure I had a kitchen. Yeah, wow. 13 weeks of traveling as a nurse. You are something special. Marilyn says, sorry I'm late. Oh, hi. Yeah, welcome. No worries. We're glad that you are here. And so anyways, when you're in your space, your kitchen, your hotel, whatever, you don't need a ton of kitchen gadgets, right? But I'd recommend finding out what the hotel has, such as small cutting board, a knife, pots and pans, maybe a few reusable containers. Now, if you're driving, it makes it a lot easier because you could just put everything that you need right into a car, or if you have some kind of a camper or something, that's different. But if you're flying, then either ask the restaurant in your hotel, which is what I have done, to borrow things like, can I borrow a set of silverware, a plate, a bowl, a can opener, or any of those kinds of things that I just listed above. And I have found, even if you don't have a microwave in your room, you don't have a kitchenette, it's just nothing, maybe, there's usually a restaurant on the grounds, and maybe not always, but if there is, you can go and you can even bring your items to them. And I have found that they'll help me. Like maybe they don't have a can opener to give me a can opener to loan me, but I can bring my can, and I have known that they would be happy to open it. Sometimes they'll even heat something in the microwave or steam it for me if I, need that. But I find that if you just ask, you can't go wrong. And you can even ask, like, this is what I need and my suggestions aren't work. Can you help me figure out, what you could do to help me so that I can get my desired results. And usually they're very willing to help in any way they can. Now, I have also said when I've asked for just silverware and plates and stuff, I say, I just want to use this in my room, and I'll either bring it back tonight or I can leave it in the room. I'll tell them what room I'm in, but they can't be bothered really. So if your hotel has a microwave or a kettle, I just want to say you can use those to prepare your grains or your soups. It's all about keeping things really simple and convenient. So I want to tell you, when Todd and I were in Europe, and I may have shared this story before, but I really like it. I had a stomach ache and I wanted some rice and peas. That's what I wanted. And somehow we walked around. Do you remember?
We're in Rome.
We were in Rome. We walked around and we found this, like, I don't know what kind of food it was, but there was where it had all these different pre-made stuff, and a lineup, not like Subway, but and they had rice, white rice. And I said, oh, can you tell me how you cook the rice? They just had rice cooked in water. So I got a big side of that, and I was so excited. And we're bringing it back to our room, and there was a little, like, this little tiny, I don't know what you would call it. It wasn't a store, but it was like a storefront where there was no door or anything. You just kind of walk up a little bit to this person, and they had all kinds of things for sale. And can you believe it? They had peas for sale. Fresh peas. So I bought that. Now, at the time, I didn't know that I could just eat fresh peas. So when I got up to the room, I'm like, oh, how am I going to cook these peas? Oh my gosh, I have to cook these peas. Well, I took the tea kettle, put some water in it, threw the peas in there and boiled them, drained the water, threw the peas in the rice. And I was so happy. My stomach ache went away. It was great. So you just got to be creative, right? And do what you can. So any questions or comments about that? No. Okay. Now I want to talk about the fun part, right? Dining out or attending catered events, which is what we are going to be doing. So the key here is communication, I think, and preparation. So most people understand different people's needs these days. And our host for the event that we're going to sent out an email. And on the email, it said, if anyone has any allergies or special food requests, reach out directly to me. And so I did. And I was given the names. I asked, could you tell me the names of the restaurants? I was given the names of the restaurants that everybody's going to be dining at, that places that are near that restaurant, also around where the restaurant will be. And then I went on my own and pulled up them online, checked the menu, and I made myself a list of possible options that would work for me. And so I actually have them written. I wrote them down. And so I could get anything, even if I wanted to get something or I wanted to accompany what I already had. It just was a nice thing to do. So after I called the restaurant. I spoke with someone explaining I'm going to be coming in from out of town. I'm going to be with a large group, and there are things that I can't eat. But instead of telling them about all the things, personal things, I just tried to keep it simple. And I just said, oh, this item here, let me just look at it really quick here. And I know we're a little behind, but I hope you guys are okay. Mango tofu. I said, for this item, mango tofu, right? Can you tell me how you prepare it? And can you tell me how it's made? And so, it's made with this sauce and it's made da-da-da-da-da. Then I could say, can you make it plain? Can you steam it? Or what other options can help me not have, say, the oil in it or whatever? And I talk to them in a way that helps me narrow down way before I ever even go there. And then I reach out to the host and I say, this is what's going to work for me. And when I did that, the host said, I already got permission for you to bring outside food into the restaurants and everywhere that we're at. So now I can bring my own food wherever we're going. I can get food nearby places, like this place that I just was talking about. There's a smoothie place that I found that has things. And so I know what my options are. If anyone's interested, I can read more about the options, but I'm fine to just, move on. So I like to do all this work ahead of time because I'm very indecisive. And having the options ready to go just makes it less stressful and it makes it simpler. And I find that I need to be very clear with what I'm asking because the restaurant, like I just mentioned, they don't understand my needs. And if I just ask for what I want instead of asking what they can do or, can you figure it out? Like they can't figure it out. So, for example, I might say, can you make me a plain baked potato? Could you make me steamed vegetables? Or do you offer fresh fruit? And they might say yes. So then that's not enough for me. So then I will follow up with, great. Can you tell me, how do you make the potato? Will the potato be wrapped in foil? Will it have butter on that skin or salt? What vegetables can you steam? Or do you have other veggies that you haven't mentioned that would be in the salad I can have raw? Is the fruit canned? Is it fresh? What kind of fruit is it? How large would the servings be? And you kind of go on and on and on. And then I always get their name. I thank them so much for explaining that I know, I explain to them, I know I have a lot of questions and I mean this, I truly appreciate all their time and they want to help and all the time that they have helped that they've offered. And so then I also kept, said, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you when I get there. And, there are times when, hey, I can say, oh, is so-and-so here? Oh, you spoke to me on the phone. Thank you so much. I could even tip them if I want. And so it doesn't become a burden so much. And they're happy, I'm happy, right? And so also sometimes things don't go as planned. And that's okay. If there are no accommodations available, pack your own meal. I ask for an empty plate and I just dump my food on the plate when I get there. And I'm prepared to pay for the rental of the plate if that's a thing for them, which no one has ever said I needed to do. And in this case, the party is being paid for by the host. So a hearty salad, collard wraps, or my raw wraps, the pre-made grain bowls or pre-cooked potatoes, those are easy to travel with and they're going to keep me on track. And if the event doesn't have what you need, don't stress out. Just enjoy the social experience. And this is me really talking to myself, right? And supplement with the snacks that I have packed or that you have packed. There's usually always a store that I can get to. But with all the planning, I never seem to get into a predicament like that so far. And if you aren't close to something, maybe you're camping or whatever, if you have stuff, you should be okay. And so I just want to also talk about handling the hard conversations, right? When you're traveling and you're dining with others, especially family or friends that you haven't seen in many years, or maybe they don't know what or why you're eating the way you are, it is quite possible that you're going to find yourself getting asked questions, right, about your food choices. Anybody experience that? I try to keep it short. I try to answer directly, and I let them know that I'm aware. That I don't want to spend the time that we have together just being focused on what I'm eating. So what I might say to them is, I'm happy to send you an email with some suggestions of movies that you might want to watch, like Forks Over Knives or What the Health, things like that, those kind of movies or books that might be helpful to explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I would be happy to help, but maybe when we aren't at this special event. So if someone asks you about your meal choice, And it's more than just a simple thing and you're feeling uncomfortable. You could just redirect. You could just say, what I have said is this lifestyle gave me my life back, which it really did. And it helps me feel my best. And you can check out my YouTube channel, and hopefully I can help you or someone else that you know if that is of interest to you. And then I might also add, something to end it like, it's just what works for me. And thank you for asking. And the truth is, those are real answers that are true for me. And so, anyways,
So Gina has a question.
yeah.
Jennifer, what do you do if you have to strain something while traveling? How do you handle that? Like collapsible strainer, like beans and stuff.
So that's a good question. Depends on what I have. I would try to be creative. If I know ahead of time, maybe I would bring this guy right here, like a nut bag or a paint strainer, because these you can get really, really inexpensively. I use these a lot to strain when I make nut milks, and this would work perfectly. And I don't care if it gets lost because it's like $2 for two or something at like
It's probably cheaper than that.
at like Home Depot or some kind of store. So I would, and look, you could fold it, wrap it up. It's tiny. You could shove it in. So that might be something. Or if I didn't have that, but maybe I brought my bowl or I have something, then I might, try to dump it in the bowl and, kind of cover it and just drain it the best I can. But that's kind of what I would do. And so that was a great question. Thank you so much for asking it. I just want to talk about a few other things that are here on the counter that if we do take a checked bag, soy curls. Actually, you don't even have to have a checked bag. You could just throw these in here. And then this is easy to have in the hotel. And let's see, these looks like bread. It's not. It's red lentil. It's red lentil bread. And I have a video on how to make that. And so these are great to, have. They've been in the freezer. So I want to show you my bag really quick, which I kind of already did. I carry this. I've got the silverware and I've got my whatever, it's not in here right now, but that silverware, any silverware, some napkins, I like to put in there. And then this isn't a purse, but it looks like it. And that's why I like to bring it. It fits right under the seat when I'm on the airplane. And it's great when I'm going into a restaurant because it looks like a purse, and nobody really questions it. It's not like I'm carrying this big cooler. And then look inside, if you haven't seen these, it's an insulated bag. It's a very, very big, huge. I can fit so much in here. And then on the sides, I have some pouches to put my water bottles or things like that. And then I have this zipper or this little pocket here. Now, I also have this because if I am doing a rolling bag, the part that the handle, this goes on it, I should have brought the rolling bag out. But anyways, this is my bag. And then a lot of times that'll be what I'm planning to eat on the plane. And then a lot of times I have the backpack and I will fill this puppy up with food. And a lot of food fits. And this fits underneath as well. Underneath the front, one of the seats. So I'm usually good with this. And if you have a bag and we're traveling together, and I say you meaning Todd, a lot of times we'll put all of our clothing and that stuff in his pack. His pack is bigger than mine. And then this one will be a little bit extra stuff and the food. So wanted to show you that. I know we've gone way over. So I was thinking I would see if you wanted me to make a wrap, but we can always do that next time. And then the last thing I want to say is it's not food related, but don't forget your exercise, guys. It's so simple to put some elastic or TheraBands in your bag, and then you can keep, working out if you don't have access to a gym in the hotel or you don't want to. And if you don't have something like this, do your push-ups, do your sit-ups, do something, keep moving. Don't be stagnant. And you'll really be able to feel great when you get back home. You know, so many people say, oh, I went on this, you know, cruise. I used to hear, I gained 10 pounds. I haven't moved, you know. No, you get out there and do what you can, weather, of course, dependent. And you will, you'll be doing yourself a favor. So I just want to say, as we wrap up, always pack your snacks, have some well-being bars, and you will be successful. And, you know, like I always say, don't forget to eat your greens and give plants a chance, you guys. I appreciate you spending the time with me today. I hope this was helpful. And so, you know, tomorrow evening, I will be making my wraps and combining and putting things just the way I told you I was, and figuring out if we're going to bring more than this, and then we will be ready to go. Sometimes I even pack it the night before the flight, because we are going to be leaving early. And if this can fit in the refrigerator, I will stick this in the refrigerator. So anyways, thank you so much. Any last questions or comments, Todd? You see in here?
No. Oh, wait, there is one.
Okay.
Jill D asked, does the USA TSA allow plastic knives?
Yeah, I don't think so. But if you get through TSA, which is where they check security, there are restaurants there, and you can get a plastic knife at the restaurant, and it's usually free. You just go up there. You can find forks, spoons, knives, napkins. That's what I was trying to say earlier. And that's what I have done in the past. So, but no, don't bring it before you go through. Just get on the other side. Now, for ours, do you think that they would let us bring this, now that I think about that?
I don't know.
I think this is a good question. Maybe we would have to leave this at home.
Yeah, we'll probably bring plastic. I'm fine throwing out a
you know
plastic
what?
knife.
When we went to Italy, we didn't have checked baggage, and we brought this.
True.
I would also say check on your, you know, whatever airline you're flying with. They do change up the rules, and make sure that whatever airline you're flying with, you understand what is acceptable. And that's what we're going to have to check for this, or maybe we won't bring it this time.
We'll just bring plastic.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what else I forgot to show? Mary's Gone crackers. Another snack to bring. Todd likes these, and I do enjoy them sometimes. All right, everyone. Thank you again. Take care. Oh, I forgot to tell you one last thing about next Tuesday.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Okay, so next Tuesday, we're going to be traveling still. So I don't know how the live is going to go. So I'm going to try to just go live last minute at the same Arizona 2:00 time. And we could just talk about how it's been going. If you guys have any questions for us, and it'll just be as short or as long as people have interest. And so I just wanted to say that in case you don't see like a thumbnail in advance, I'm still going to attempt to do it. And by then we should be in Texas, right?
Or somewhere.
Okay. All right. Thanks, you guys. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget, again, eat your greens, give plants a chance. Bye.